Welcome to the third of our three-part series on short-term insurance with Elite CEO Christelle Colman. Thanks for joining us, Christelle.
My pleasure.
All right. Now, most people know about, when it comes to short-term insurance, they know about home insurance, they know about motor insurance, but there's a whole bunch of other more nuanced areas that people are probably less familiar with, and we're going to try and deal with those today.
Cool.
Okay, so let's look at things like travel insurance, we'll look at things like personal liability, and identity theft potentially. Tell me a little bit about these things and the sort of the prevalence of them amongst South African consumers.
Okay, so I think first and foremost, the personal liability. Most insurance policies give you a limit for personal liability insurance. And what is personal liability insurance? It is when someone visits your home and you've just had renovations done recently and you've got a braai area on the first floor and the balustrade is not that secure or it doesn't extend all the way, and someone falls off the balcony and they break their neck. They're a high income earner and they hold you liable.
That sounds awfully specific.
Because I had a claim like that. So it actually happened. It was an overseas visitor.
Not to you though,
No,
right?
it was one of our clients, and it was a substantial claim. The homeowner was held personally liable for medical expenses, loss of income, obviously everything that goes with that. That's what your liability policy is.
And that doesn't form part of your home insurance cover?
It's actually, most insurance policies, your liability component is included in your home insurance. But it's very important to remember that liability insurance is there for the insurance company to defend this case on your behalf and to pay out if a court in South Africa makes a ruling that there needs to be a settlement. You can't go, oh, you've fallen down my stairs, my policy will pay for your medical expenses as an individual. It is there for the insurance company to defend you, the cost of defending you, and to pay any settlements that might come out of
I always imagine somebody standing on a rake and hitting them in the face.
Well, that's exactly what it's there for. So, but what's interesting in terms of liability insurance, we also nowadays see an increase in cybercrime. And you mentioned identity theft. A lot of insurance policies take identity theft as part of their liability extension. So costs that you might incur as a result of your identity being stolen, and you would have some cover under your liability extensions. Under most insurance policies. A very interesting one is, new risks that have evolved is everything around cryptocurrency. You want to talk about that?
That's true. That is true.
So,
yes.
So what we are seeing is an increase of people trading on crypto platforms, and something that we have under the Elite policy, and it's like very new, so no one else has it. So I know about cryptocurrency because I made the mistake of buying cryptocurrency last year.
Not as badly as I did.
No, I'm sure. So you have a wallet. You've got your wallet, where your cryptocurrency is being held in.
And you forget your password, right?
Yes, that as well. But the policy covers you for if that wallet is being hacked.
Okay.
So you've got a limited sum insured, 5,000 rand in our case. If your wallet is hacked and the money is lost, you can claim from your policy. It's almost like having an actual wallet of money.
Fantastic.
So that's we've sort of ventured into the cryptocurrency space. But yeah, it's very important to have liability insurance. It's very important that you have the right level of liability insurance.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How do you determine what that might be?
It's cheap insurance compared to building and contents and car insurance. Just ask for the highest level that you can. So it can go all the way, included 1 million rand. Some policies up to 5 million, and then on the Elite policy you can go up to 50 million.
Oh wow. Let's talk about travel insurance.
Yeah.
This is another one that vexes me. I'm never quite sure what my travel insurance policy is covering, what my medical aid is covering, and what I'm not covered for.
So that's exactly the problem. So I also went through that. A previous role, I used to travel overseas every month. I had an extended visa, 5-year Schengen visa, so I didn't have to worry about getting travel insurance to get my visa approved, because that's often the only time people think about travel insurance. They think, oh, I've got my credit card, travel insurance, I'm sorted. It's not that simple. We see huge claims in travel insurance. So think about it. You go to the US and you have a heart problem. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, 35, 38-year-old male, you have a problem. And your medical aid in South Africa doesn't extend to travel insurance. Most medical aids don't. So they don't have an international travel benefit. You are only covered in South Africa. That's the biggest thing that you have to be concerned about, is medical expenses. Don't worry, the other stuff, missing your flights, whatever, losing your luggage, that's easy stuff to deal with. Medical expenses. And the US hospitals, to get into that hospital, Again, in my previous life, I was the CEO of a travel insurance assist services company in South Africa, the biggest one. You actually have to have the money in the account of the hospital in the US before they will allow you into the. So and we're talking like 300,000 euros.
And you say you're sure that's your medical aid does not necessarily cover that.
So my medical aid that I was on before, I'm not allowed to mention companies. I'd rather not. But they hadn't. So before you go overseas, you would notify your medical aid, and they would give you a letter to say you covered for international travel benefit. I changed employers. I'm with Old Mutual now. Our current medical aid doesn't have an international travel benefit.
Okay, so you need to know this. Obviously, this is something that as an individual we need to know, because you could also double insure then, right? You know,
no, you can double insure. Look, travel insurance is not expensive insurance, so you're not going to really, have huge premium, double premium benefits, but or pay too much premium. But you want to be insured against falling, breaking your coccyx, or just being able to get back to South Africa. Another problem is people travel to countries where the medical help that you can get is not on par with South Africa. So you want to come back to South Africa to get your medical treatment. If you are overseas, you have a child maybe traveling overseas, they get into a medical situation, you want to be able to go to them if they're in ICU, so your travel policy covers you for all of that. So it's the actual medical expenses, it's getting back to South Africa, or getting your nearest and dearest to come and support the individual in the country where they are. If we go on to other parts of travel insurance, lost luggage, curtailment, in-supply, insolvency. You've booked a trip, you get there and the hotel is bankrupt, so that you can actually go somewhere else. So it's important to take our travel insurance.
And again, there you need to check whether your content cover already covers those items, or if it doesn't.
So our policy covers you, but most policies don't. So and we also offer an international travel benefit that's sort of in place throughout the year. And it's really, people forget about the travel insurance component.
My father always reminds me when I tell him I'm going to, have you taken travel insurance?
Yes, he's wise, clearly. So it's very important that you take your travel insurance, and that you don't think that because you've got a benefit under your credit card that you've got adequate travel insurance. I would always take out additional travel insurance.
All right, the other one I wanted to talk to about was identity theft. How prevalent is that? I imagine it's only increasing.
It is increasing. When it comes to identity theft, it is about reinstating the person's identity post the incident. That's really where the costs and the issues, come in. So someone steals your identity, they get married to, someone that's not your husband actually, or your wife. They use your credit profile to incur debt on your behalf. So it's reinstating your credit profile. It's reinstating your identity post the incident. And that's something that that can be taken out through your bank, through an insurance company. Those products are available.
Any other niche insurance cover that you think people would do well to take out?
Yeah, I definitely think you have to think about kidnap and ransom insurance. And we have seen a massive increase in kidnap and ransom in the South African market.
Really?
Yeah. So we've also seen a huge increase of people out of Africa, on the African continent, buying property in South Africa. Their kids being at school here, very wealthy individuals, and they are targeted by syndicates. So I would definitely say that you must look at kidnap and ransom insurance, and not just to pay the ransom. Ransom insurance policies have got a whole host of services that sit behind it, with very specialist individuals who would negotiate the ransom and the release of the individual. And that's really what you want. You don't want to have to procure those services when you've had an incident.
I've always wondered why those types of incidents seem so prevalent in South America, yet it's happening, right?
It's happening. If you it would be interesting for you to do the research. But we have seen a huge increase in kidnap and ransom incidents in South Africa.
All right, Christelle, thank you so much. You've just told me a lot that I did not know. So thank you for demystifying all that for us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.